Thank you for coming out to hear me today. My name is Gary Josephson, and I'm running in Ohio's 15th Congressional District. This district includes west and south of Franklin County, and then heads west, approaching the Indiana border. I really love to be on the campaign trail since I get to meet everyday people like you. When I worked as a union representative and organizer, the greatest pleasure was to leave the office behind and visit people in their homes, on the job, in stores, and in their places of play and entertainment. My campaign has adopted the slogan, "Restore Our Garden," because this slogan captures the demands of the American people to restore jobs, restore the environment, restore American democracy, and to promote truth, civility, and a decent future for our youth. At this time, I'm receiving no assistance from the Democratic Party since they barely noticed me until County Recorder Denny O'Connor dropped out of the race in protest of the illegal political gerrymandering of Ohio's legislative boundaries. Being an unexpected candidate has great benefits, and you can vote for a person whose most important qualifications are that he is comfortable with his fellow citizens, believes in representative democracy, and takes seriously the responsibilities that go with representing you. I ran not because I needed a job, but because I believe serving the American people means more than calling people names, living on lies, or leading a mob down the street to intimidate our elected officials. Abraham Lincoln stressed that there is no grievance that is a fit object of redress by mob rule. To add insult to injury, the leaders of this mob have formed a noisy faction with millions of true believers whose whole purpose appears dedicated to destroying the just functions of our government. This faction denies climate change, denies that our ballots were cast by real citizens and counted fairly by dedicated public servants, denies a sickness was dangerous which killed 1 million Americans, denies that the mob they promoted was a danger to democratic rule. They deny that Russia is the aggressor against Ukraine, and most recently, their faction won a battle to deny a woman's privacy and right to make decisions about their health and well-being. I am running to help put an end to this faction and their know-nothing disruptions they plan for this country. I am running for Congress because so many others seem alienated from taking action to provide remedies to the issues faced by the people of this country and the world. I grew up in a family that believed in finding remedies. This was basic to my family life and education. My father worked as a mechanical engineer, and in his work, if something broke, he would take it apart, find out what went wrong, and redesign it. My mother was the treasurer and CFO of her father's business as an electrical contractor, which employed only union electricians who belonged to IBEW Local 38 in Cleveland. Anyway, from these able parents, I adopted the mindset that most problems can be solved by good science and engineering along with careful accounting. That can-do attitude was how my parents' generation faced down a world gone mad. I have in mind my grandfather's telegram to my father in 1943 when he graduated the Ohio State University and joined the U.S. Army Air Corps. That telegram states these words: "Keep high your aspirations, your faith, and your courage. Yours is a great privilege. Be proud that in serving your country, you help all humanity. Our prayers go with boys like you because you belong to us, and because you are fine, and because with you ride the hopes for a decent world." Signed, Dad, Joseph Schiffman. My parents' generation faced problems as difficult as those we face today. Our issues in need of remedies include climate change, crime, unemployment, homelessness, war, injury, disease, human rights, and the rights of women and minorities. Today, many fear those problems are overwhelming and that fear paralyzes them. This reminds me of the words of Franklin Roosevelt spoke when he was first elected president in the darkest times of the Great Depression. What he said is, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I am running for Congress to help end those fears by speaking for common sense remedies without playing the blame game of finding fault. It is time to move forward. What Abraham Lincoln said 150 years ago applies today. He said, in this age and in this country, public sentiment is everything. With it, nothing can fail. Against it, nothing can succeed. I do not want to end this speech without adding my undying praise for those American people who find the courage to speak up to right the wrongs they see. In my lifetime, I have seen so many who have escaped the past divisions of bigotry, of class, race, and gender. I remember the courage of everyday working people who went to work to provide essential services when we were plagued with the spread of COVID. I have seen people rise to the occasion and right the faults of this nation during the Civil Rights era and the movement to end the cruel Vietnam War. I feel certain they will find the courage to overcome the current challenges of the denial factions. This country was created on the idea that everyone belonged. The "we the people" which begins the Constitution were not just words. It meant that no one was left out of the circle. True, they left most people out of the decision-making with limited or no rights. After all, they were the elites of their times and often afraid of everyday people. But even more, they feared that someone or some small grouping of their class of elites might declare themselves king, emperor, or create a permanent class of royal owners. So, they found the wisdom to invest the power of the state in the name of the people. We, the people, established the people as sovereign over the land and its residents. As a result, when the government does something, it is our government that acts, and acts in our name. This election, it is time for every citizen to take action and vote Team Democrat up and down the ballot. We Democrats have some great leaders in Ohio, including current U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown and candidates Ann Whaley for governor and Tim Ward for the U.S. Senate. These leaders care about all our citizens and are outspoken about working people and green economic development. Your participation will lead to that decent world my grandfather spoke of, and our garden planet Earth can become more peaceful, green, and plentiful. Thank you.